photography, their transportation, everything. So that's to draw them there. They do come. They are very interested, and it grows every year. So they have a good time, and then they learn a lot. You know, we usually send them home with a gift bag, and they have, like, all kinds of pamphlets about, you know, everything that we talked about that evening. We do put condoms in there. We do have different birth control information, all kinds of stuff, because we have, you know, they're getting younger. They're experiencing more than we experienced at their ages.
Okay. And in your experience with what you do with this Saving Grace Ministries, I'm curious to know how true the statement when people say, we never realize it until it hits home. We don't know the severity of things like what Saving Grace Ministries is about until it hits home. In your personal experience, how true is that statement? Even if you, how true is that statement?
In my instance, that's very true. Let's say I never imagined, I never imagined the pain it was. I didn't have empathy before it happened to me. I had sympathy, but I didn't have empathy. And it's a difference. So you sympathize with someone. It's like, you know, I give you my condolences, like to you right now for your loss. Like, that's sympathizing with someone. But having empathy is when you remove yourself from your present situation and you actually put your foot in somebody else's shoe and experience their pain firsthand. So when you can actually do that, then you'll be like, you know what, this is such more than a worthy cause. For me, I didn't, you know, I saw people get murdered. I'm from Camden. I've seen things happen. I'm like, man, I feel so bad for them. That was sympathizing with them. But to actually experience it, now afterwards, I have empathy. If something happens and someone is murdered, I feel the pain firsthand. Every time it's like a reslice to myself, and I'm like, wow, like I know, wish her tears feel like burning down her face. Like I know right now what that child is about to go through, and I can physically feel that pain myself. I have cried tears for people that I didn't know now because I had empathy, because I know what they've been through, you know. And I think that it's a lot of people in the world today that don't have empathy or sympathy, which makes our world cold. But I think there are some good people out there, but they don't empathize. They just sympathize. That's like with the whole foundation. Like, because I run off of all donations, I do not get any funding. It's like I'm fighting for funding, and it's like trying to get people's awareness and attention. I think every criminal, I'm not going to say criminal, every city, say for instance like Chicago, every bad city who has having these murders need a saving grace. To get that out there, to be able to tell people, hey, this is possible, and I think I need y'all attention because I need help with this, it's kind of hard for people to understand or care about until it happens to you. Like, if it doesn't happen to you, you be like, oh, okay, that's just another program. But when it happens to you, you're like, wow, like, you know, this really helps. And it's a lot of success stories. I had one child in our program who went from suicidal everything, I mean, cutting everything suicidal, to being, you know, college bound this year. In a year and a half time, the whole personality changed. Like, teachers, mentors, the mom, everybody be like, I don't know what you did. And I'm like, it wasn't me. It was a collective effort of our whole team. But when you pour into these children and you start planting seeds, and like, you still can live, and you don't have to be the statistic like dad, or you don't have to be the statistic like mom. You got more life to live, and you show them that, they then become great. You know, they live out what's actually already destined for them. So
okay,
you do.
Yeah, I want to know maybe some statistics or some shocking facts or whatever about violence and crime that you may know of. But you mentioned, I also want to talk about your team that you just mentioned. You just mentioned it's a collective effort. But I also like the part where you said there should be a Saving Grace Ministries in, you know, different places, Chicago, Los Angeles. There should be, especially that's free. I like it because it's free.
Good.
Like, that's really why everywhere needs it. So for those this has hit home for someone, there is nothing available in their community, how can they connect with you and or the foundation? What's the best way they can connect, send a message, call? Could you share that real quick?
I sure can. I have a 1-800 number, and it's 1-866-280-2402. That's 866-280-2402. We have a website is savinggraceministry.com. We have Facebook pages. We have 2. Actually, I have Saving Grace Ministries, and I have CMD, meaning Camden, but we got CMD Saving Grace as well. We have a Twitter, Saving Grace Ministries. We have a Instagram, Saving Grace Ministries. So we have it. I mean, we on all social medias, and you can hit our website. You can call us at any time. Our main office number is 856-246-1362. That's 856-246-1362. So there's many ways that you can contact us.
That's really awesome.
So they can get with us at any time. And when you speak it free, like, we try to make it free to everyone. So when we do different things, we'll just write sponsor letters to local companies, businesses, churches, and then have people just, like, you know, sponsor different events. We have a youth conference coming up November 3rd and 4th. And it's a Stop the Violence kind of rally. At the same time, we are trying to inspire the youth. So it's called the Inspire Conference. So we have one coming up, and we have motivational speakers, Jeremy Anderson and Kevin Knox, who will be coming up to join us. We have, like, Deuce B, and we have a couple of Spanish artists, because we're trying to bridge in the Latino community, like Michelle Bonilla, on the Walls group, like different people that's going to be coming. And it's a Friday night youth rally with a lot of drill teams and dancers. And then Saturday we're going to have a couple youth services. The first one is a youth service, and we have, like, a time where we have different stations where they can come, they can get prayer, or they can just talk to a mentor, they can ask questions. We're going to have safe surrender, where they can come if they have charges and get new court dates and drop the warrants. We're going to have where they can turn in weapons, like different things like that, just a turnaround. So that's the Inspire Youth Conference, the 3rd and 4th, and it's at something called the Croc Center in Camden. So we try to do different things like that to try to, like, turn their lives around. So hopefully this will be a great thing, this time.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. I love it. Let me get to, are there any, because again, we don't realize it, including myself, until it hits home. However, we also like to know facts and statistics. We can get closer. We can get closer to that empathy that you're talking about that we need. We can all sympathize, as you said, but as far as empathy, we may not be able to get there 100%, but we can, numbers, facts, statistics, stories can push us a little bit closer to where we need to really be as human beings. What are some statistics, facts, or stories like that to push us to being more empathetic before it actually hits home to us?
Well, statistics vary across the land. So at different cities, like you was just saying, Chicago had their own statistics. I think we rest in Camden to about between 30 and 50 murders a year. So it's not every day, but it's pretty much 30, between 30 to 50 murders a year.
I thought it was way more than that. No?
No, not now. I mean, it was more before. It kind of, like, slowed down a bit. And then it's like, now it's more ODing, a lot of the fentanyl is here, the opiums is there. But as far as, I say, gunshots, we be about 40 or 50 murders per se. So it kind of slows down.
Small too, right? That's
a very small spot, the smallest on the map. So when you think of statistic-wise, that's how I feel our radius of people and the size that it is. It's like, our children now, as far as when you speak of statistics, let's say the gang violence, we want to say 6 out of 10 children are joining gangs in Camden that are able to roam the street. We want to say that sex trafficking is really, really a big issue right now in Camden, as well as, like, let's say for the children that I serve, we may have about 4 out of 10 is being classified every year in school because of what's going on. So it's a lot going on.
And what is sex trafficking, real quick? Could you explain what sex trafficking is?
Sex trafficking is pretty much like prostitution with children. So it's like children being pulled into these sex rings where they're being, let's say, you might as well say raped because it's against their will for money. So people, are selling kids. They're selling kids for sex. So we have a lot of that going on. And it's like, it's being run in Camden like gangs. Because we have taken children and got them stomped out of it. Like, if you know there's one, wait, hold up, can't have that one. And they've been stomped out. And we have kids that we've taken to the big homies, like, look, I need you to let this one go, because this one is ours. And get them beat out. Why? Because you can't have this one. And it is what it is. You can't, it's like, some things you can go to the police department and be like, this is going on, but there's so much going on that they're not going to walk out with you and be like, all right, come on, I'm going to go with you and we're going to handle it. No, it's not that easy. Some of them you do got to take to the big homies to have a conversation, be like, I need this one. You can't have this kid. This is our kid.
All right, and I'm curious to know if you obviously have, when this stuff does happen, you have a safe haven, as we call it, where people can go to get, therapy to, get their way through it. Whatever resources they have when it happens.
Right.
Do you have any ideas of how it could happen less?
As far as the murder is concerned?
Yeah.
I'm thinking
murders, gangs, all of that.
One thing, like he said, I think that they need to implement back, like when we were younger, is the activities. We have no programming. We have no after-school programs. We have no extracurricular. Some of them are talented. Let's say music. You have no music schools. Dance schools are very expensive now. And so when the parents lack, and let's say poverty, when the parents lack financially and they can't afford to put their kids in dance, they can't afford to put their kids in, creative arts or anything like that, these kids find other things to do. It'd be other initiatives. But I think if they had it open for them, it would keep them from the street, because a lot of them, really, when you get to know them, they don't want to be there. It's a survival to the fittest. So I'm just surviving, so in order for me to do that, this is what we need to do. Or some of them like, well, this is just fun. This is just something my friend said is cool, so I decided to try it, and I liked it. And that's with a lot of things. That's even what a lot of them starting to do drugs. Because while my friends was doing it, so we try to keep them occupied as much as possible. Now, will I get 400 kids a day? No, I won't. I might get the same 50 kids all the time, or every now and then you'll see some trickle in and some trickle out. But you have some that come to private counseling. You'll have some that do the private therapy. Another thing we started last year was going into the schools, doing assemblies, doing different programs in the schools. We had something called An Amazing Race, and so we started to implement community service with that, feeding the homeless, visiting elderly, teaching the children things that we were taught younger that the parents don't teach them today. And I think last year we had a very good time, especially with a couple middle schools, where we took them door to door, and they knocked on the doors around the houses, and they gave them a mug that said a woman message from, and whoever their school was, and they introduced themselves, and they talked to each other, and they let them people know around there, like, we're not all bad kids. Even though we get a bad rap, we're not all bad kids. And they enjoyed it. They really enjoyed it. And one of the saddest things that I saw when we did that was that some of the older people were scared to open their doors, and they were scared to reach out to talk to the kids, because they're so scared of what the media says about our young people that they didn't even want to give them a chance. And I saw some of them like that, and I thought that was sad. But it was because of how the media portrayed them too. Because you do have a lot of bad things that happen, but you have so many wonderful kids out here that just don't get the chance. So statistically, I want to say I may get about 2, 3, 4 kids a month that join the program, and they stick around younger. Some of the older ones, when they get to be teens, you don't see them as much unless there's an event. You'll see them at the purity ball. You'll see them at the youth conferences or something like that, but you won't see them every single day of their lives. So you might have someone that come 2 times for tutoring throughout that week, or something like that, you know. So we have a lot of major programs. We have something called the Moana House